Bhagavad Gita class. And if you're joining to the class for the first time, I welcome you once again. I also encourage all the devotees to use the Zoom chat window to post your questions and doubts regarding Bhagavad Gita so that Timur Prabhu will coordinate your questions. And Guruji will answer all your questions at the end of the lecture. And now Guruji will start with today's Bhagavad Gita class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashthaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanath Swamini Namini. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namini. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmilitam Mena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandegam Sri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sakagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarvyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Chapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Isvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraham Anadi Radhir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Hare Krishna. By the causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, we are nicely studying Bhagavad Gita. We finished 15 slokas in the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the three modes of material nature. So in this chapter, Krishna is teaching us about these three modes very clearly. Only important point is that we need to keep revising these chapters again and again. All the slokas, in fact, all the chapters, we need to keep revising. That's what is very important. So it has got about 27 slokas. So in this chapter, 14th chapter. So like in the 6th chapter, Krishna taught us about how to control our mind. We need to keep revising again and then follow what Krishna said there. Similarly, in this chapter, for example, in the 12th chapter, Krishna gave us the qualities of a devotee. So who all Krishna likes Krishna said, Priyos me. So he is dearer to me like that. Yomat Bhaktaga Same Priyaga. So he is my devotee, dearer to me. So like that, Krishna said all the devotees who all will be dearer to him. So that way we need to understand all those slokas and achieve those qualities so that we will become closer to Krishna, dearer to Krishna. So like that in each and every chapter, Krishna is giving us a lot of knowledge, so much of knowledge. So in the 13th chapter also, Krishna gave us the knowledge about the Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnana, Jnaya, Prakriti, Purusha, all such things. So in fact, this 14th chapter is the continuation of the 13th chapter, where Arjuna asked the question about the Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnana, Jnaya. And Krishna is now explaining about the Prakriti very in detail in the 14th chapter, the three modes of material nature. So that's what is Prakriti. So these three modes of material nature. So now how these modes of nature are formed and what it constitutes of and how it controls us, everything Krishna is teaching us very, very clearly in this 14th chapter. So we know that like how the gunas are produced, that point also is very clear. How it is produced first of all. So what is the source of these gunas? That's what is very important. So if you know, then only we will be able to find out how it controls us. Because first of all, this guna itself, these three modes of material nature, they are contagious and they are produced, and the source of them is very, very clearly known. So especially the mode of passion and mode of ignorance, Krishna taught us very, very clearly. So the mode of passion is because of our attachment to material sense objects. That's what from the sangha, from the attachment, from the raga. So from the raga or sangha, both are same. So from that only this mode of passion, so the mode of basically the rajoguna is produced. Similarly, the tamoguna is produced when there is ignorance, when we don't have knowledge, when we are fools, we don't know anything about this Bhagavad Gita. So then we are controlled by the mode of ignorance, the tamoguna. So like that, all these modes of nature, how they are produced and how they control and how they bind us. So we understand it, how they are produced. And second, Krishna taught us that how they bind us. So in the same sloka itself, Krishna taught us. So the mode of Rajoguna binds ones to karma. The mode of Tamoguna binds ones to madness, laziness, indolence, sleep, all such things. So the mode of, so Krishna said that Sattvam Sukhe Sanjayati. Whereas karmani rajaga par. So jnanam avrityatu tamaga, so pramade sanjayatyuta. So the tamoguna binds ones to madness, pramade sanjayatyuta. So that way these three modes of material nature are controlling us, are binding us. So life after life, in every life, so they are binding us, they are controlling us. So they are not leaving us. Not only this life, previous all the lives we were controlled by the modes of nature. And in this life also we are controlled by these modes of nature. So in the next life also we will be controlled by the modes of nature. But only when we study Bhagavad Gita, understand Bhagavad Gita and follow what Krishna says and chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and control our mind and make our mind as our best friend. And then with the help of mind, always if we are able to live in Krishna consciousness, so then we will be able to free ourselves from these modes of nature. So then in the next life, we will be going to Krishna as well. So there the modes of nature are not going to bind us. So that's what is very important. So in order to get ourselves become eligible to go to Krishna as well, we need to be freed from the modes of nature. That's what is very, very important. So when we are freed, when we are now no more controlled by the modes of nature, so then we are free. So we are free to go to Krishna as well. So that is what is known as Brahma Bhutam. So in this material veil, this material nature is Mahabhutam. It's also known as Panjabhutam. Whereas in Krishna's veil, it is actually Brahma Bhutam. And we are in this material veil, when we live in this material veil, we are known as Jiva Bhutam. So now we need to elevate ourselves from the Jiva Bhutam to Brahma Bhutam. So Jiva Bhutam Yayedam Daryate Jagat. So by him, this world is exploited. This world, this Jagat. So we don't want to be a Jiva Bhuta and keep going in this material world and going after material things and claiming material benefits. Everything, whatever we claim, whatever we think that we are great, and all such things are all useless. So we need to elevate ourselves to Brahma Bhutam. So that is the spiritual world. So Krishna's world. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati samaga sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labate param. So Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, a person who is able to achieve the Brahma Bhuta state, and who is the Prasannatma, who is the very happy person, peaceful, happy person, Prasannatma. Brahmabhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kangksati. So, who neither laments nor desires, na sochati na kangksati. Samaga sarvesu bhutesu madbhaktim labate param. So, because we don't hanker for anything and we don't lament for anything, so because na sochati, no lamentation, and na kangshati, no hankering. So, since we don't lament for anything and don't hanker for anything, so that way there is no enemy or friend. So, that way we are equal to everyone. So, that's what samaga sarveshu bhutesu. So, being equal to all the living entities. Samaga sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labate param. So he attains the param bhakti, the superior devotion unto me. So that's what madbhaktim labate param. So we need that bhakti. That bhakti only can bring us mukti, can deliver us from this material wealth, material bondage. So bhakti. So if we have bhakti, if we love Krishna, if we develop that devotion, so that means we should not be going after anything in this material world. We should be equal at all times. We should not be worried. We should not be disturbed. So our goal is only Krishna. Krishna is our goal, nothing else. We don't worry about anything else in this material world. We don't have to really go after anything in this material world also. So only if we go after Krishna, if we just remember Krishna, if we just serve Krishna, so then other things, whatever we need in this material world, they will come after us. We don't have to go after them. They will come after us because Krishna will send all those things to us. Krishna will deliver us. Like when you want something these days, because of the pandemic also, we order online most of the things and they come and deliver. So like that here Krishna comes and delivers us everything. We just have to become devotee of Krishna and do everything for Krishna and fully depend on Krishna. So then Krishna comes and delivers us everything to us. We don't have to worry about it. We don't even have to order anything because Krishna knows what we need. Krishna knows what we need and he takes care of it and he will deliver it. And by Krishna's causeless mercy, our life will go smooth. There is no problem. There are no problems. So that way we need to make use of this great opportunity of studying Bhagavad Gita and serving Krishna and becoming a great devotee of Krishna and spreading this message and always live as per the principles of Bhagavad Gita. So all these things, if we do it very nicely by Krishna's causeless mercy with the knowledge of this Bhagavad Gita, then we will be completely taken care by Krishna. We don't have to really worry about anything in this material world. Everything will be nicely taken care by Krishna. By Krishna's causeless mercy, it will all happen. So let us study this Bhagavad Gita very nicely, very sincerely, what we are doing now, like we are doing every day. So let us continue making this progress every day. So that's what is very important for us, because the more and more progress we make, the more and more we are getting closer to Krishna. So that way, the more and more we are getting away from this material world. So that's what is very important. We need to distance ourselves from this material world. Arattigi jana samsati. Vivikta desha shevitvam arattigi jana samsati. That's what Krishna said. That's what is knowledge. So, when we studied in the 13th chapter, when Krishna said that this is Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Doshanu Darsanam, one who sees that this Janma Mrityu and Jara and Vyadi, so birth, old age, disease and death are the symptoms of our suffering. So one should after understanding that, to free ourselves from these problems, one should actually desire to live in a solitary place. So that's what Vivikta Desha Sevitvam. That is free from the general population. So Arattigi Jana Samsati. Arattigi Jana Samsati. So then only we can actually focus more on Krishna. If we ourselves mingle too much in this material world with this general population, if we just go after the material things all the time, so it's very difficult for us to focus on Krishna. It's very difficult for us to remember Krishna. So we need to actually make our life in such a way that we should be very simple and very easy, and we should not be bothered about too many things in this material world. That means we should not be bothered, means we should not be disturbed. We should not be attached to material things. So that's what is very, very important. So our contacts, our interest, our focus, everything should be only on Krishna, everything related to Krishna. So that way our life will be Krishna conscious. That's what is very important. We need to know, we need to understand very well that we cannot make everyone in this world as Krishna's devotees. That is impossible. That's not going to happen at all. So that way we should actually ourselves make sure that we should not fall victim to this material modes of nature. We should not fall victim of other people who are not focusing on Krishna. So we need to ensure, we need to make sure that with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we should keep progressing, understand this Bhagavad Gita and spread this message and make many devotees, everywhere make devotees. Just be focused on this only Bhagavad Gita, this knowledge. So definitely that's going to take us to Krishna's will. There is no doubt about it. That's what Krishna is using that word. There is no doubt many, many times in Bhagavad Gita. It's not that I'm just saying that. Krishna is using several times in Bhagavad Gita. There is no doubt. There is no doubt. You will come to me. There is no doubt. Asamsayam. There is no doubt. You will come to me. Mamevesisi. So that way we just need to remember Krishna only. Our chitta, our thoughts, everything should be focused on Krishna. Otherwise, if we are too much focused on this material world, so then our chitta, if our thoughts focused on too much on this material world, so then what we are going to get is that we are going to get only worries. Chintam aparimeyam. Chintam aparimeyam cha pralayantam upashitam. So chintam aparimeyam means unlimited worries. Unlimited worries till the end of our life. Aparimeya means unlimited. So that's what is going to happen. If we focus our mind on Krishna, if we focus our thoughts on Krishna, so we are going to get peace of mind and we are going to achieve happiness, enjoy happiness. That also we will enjoy unlimitedly. Aparimeyam, happiness. We will enjoy, we will be sukham aparimeyam. So here chintam aparimeyam. So chintam aparimeyam is, that's what happens to the demons. So who are going after kama and krodha. So there is chintam aparimeyam cha pralayantam upashitaga kamopaboga parama yetavatiti nishchitaga. So thinking that this is what is true. So yetavatiti nishchitaga. That enjoying this material sense objects, that's what is life. Thinking like that. So they will go after this material sense objects. That way they will be bound by a network of desires, so and worries and illusions, and they will derive money by illegal means, bound by a network of hundreds of desires. Asa, pasa, satay, bagdaga, kama, krodha, parayanaga, ihante, kama, bhogartam, anyayena, artha sanjayan. That's what happens for those who are materially motivated. For those who are out of Krishna consciousness, who don't have this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Basically, those who are demons. That's what happens. But for devotees, that's not the case. The devotees of Krishna, for them, Sukham Aparimeyam. That's what Sukham Akshayam. So Sukham Akshayam Ashnute. Sukham Akshayam Ashnute means they will be able to enjoy unlimited happiness. They will be able to experience unlimited happiness. Sukham Akshayam Ashnute. Just by getting this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. By simply focusing on Krishna, just by serving Krishna, we are going to get unlimited happiness. That's what Sukham Akshayam Ashnute. All these things are happening to us because of Krishna's mercy, Krishna's causeless mercy. We are progressing, we are getting this knowledge, all because of Krishna's causeless mercy, and because we are also very sincere, we are very committed, and we have faith on Krishna. So because of that reason, that only one qualification, that is the only one prerequisite. So that qualification, since we are meeting that qualification, we are actually getting this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita every day, and we are getting opportunity to praise the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna every day. We are able to glorify him with this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. So every day when we study this Bhagavad Gita, we are actually praising Krishna. That's what is bringing us so much of happiness. So we are finding so much of happiness in glorifying our Supreme Personality, our own Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, like Lord Brahma did. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So Govinda is the Adi Purusha. Govinda is the original primeval Lord. So I adore Govinda, the primeval Lord. I worship him. So Tamaham Bhajami. That's what Lord Brahma said. So that way we should worship Krishna. We should serve Krishna. All the time we should be connected with Krishna. We should never ever forget Krishna. We should always remember Krishna. So all these things are going to happen with this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. This Bhagavad Gita knowledge is going to do all this magic in our life, all this miracle in our life. Just by getting this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, the way we are getting, the way we are studying, as it is, everything, each and every sloka, we understand each and every sloka completely. There is no question, no doubt, and we are able to make continuous progress. Now we are in the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We finished 15 slokas in the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So in the 14th and 15th sloka, in the 14th chapter, Krishna is teaching us what will happen when we die at the mode of goodness. Basically, where will we go when we die in the mode of goodness or passion or ignorance. So in the mode of goodness, we will go to the place where the pious living entities are there. So Amalan, the pure, Amalan Pratipatyadi. So that's what we will go there. And whereas if we die in the mode of Rajoguna, in the mode of passion, like we studied yesterday, Rajasi Pralayam Gatva Karma Sangishu Jayate Tata Pralina Tamasi Mudayo Nishu Jayate. So Pralayam Gatva, Rajasi Pralayam Gatva. So if you die in the mode of passion, so we will go to the place where we will be forced to work, bound to work, karma sangi sujayate. And if we die in the mode of ignorance, then we will born in the animal kingdom. So that's what muda yoni sujayate. There is tamasi, tata pralayinas tamasi, muda yoni sujayate. So now in the shloka 16th shloka, what we are studying, what are the results we are going to get? When we are working in the mode of goodness, what result we are going to get? In the mode of passion and mode of ignorance, what type of results we are going to get? That's what Krishna is teaching us here. So in each and every sloka, Krishna is teaching us a lot of things. So here Krishna is teaching us in the 16th sloka, in the 14th chapter, Karmanaga Sukrutasyakuhu Satvikam Nirmalam Palam Rajasastu Palam Dukkam Ajnanam Tamashar Palam. Karmanaga Sukruta Syagugu Satvikam Nirmalam Palam. So if we do such pious activities in the mode of goodness, Satvikam. So when we do pious activities in the mode of goodness, so there is Karmanaga Sukruta Syagugu Satvikam Nirmalam Palam, pure. So the fruit is actually the result. Palam means the fruit, that means the result. The result is we will be purified. That's what Nirmala. So that's what is going to be Atma Suddhaya. Kayena Manasa Buddhya Kevalairindriyairapi Yoginaha Karma Kurvanti Sangam Tyaktva Atma Suddhaye. So Atma Suddhaye, we will be able to purify ourselves when we work in the mode of goodness. So that's what Satvikam Nirmalam Palam. So Nirmalam means it is purity. It's pure. So Nirmalam, no dirty. So that's what Nirmalam. So Nirmalam Palam. Whereas Rajasastu Palam, Dukkham. So what is the result of working in the mode of passion? In the mode of Rajoguna, in the mode of passion, the result is going to be distress, Dukkham. We are not going to get Sukham. We are not going to be happy. Only Sattvam Sukhe Sanjayati. Only Sattvaguna only binds ones to happiness. Whereas the Rajoguna binds ones to work, bondage to work. And when we are bound to work, when we are forced to work in this material way by expecting the results, the end result is actually going to be only distress, only Dukkham. That's what Rajasastu Palam Dukkham, Ajnanam Tamasaka Palam. Whereas the fruit of, the result of the tamoguna, that is the mode of ignorance, is ajnanam, ignorance. So no knowledge. So we will not have any knowledge. It's only ajnanam. Ajnanam tamasaka palam. That's what Krishna is teaching us. Ajnanam tamasaka palam. So the result of pious action is pure and is said to be in the mode of goodness, but action done in the mode of passion results in misery, and action performed in the mode of ignorance results in foolishness. So that's what we are studying. So if we are working in the mode of goodness, then the result is pure. So our Atma will be purified. So whereas the mode of passion results in it is dukkam, distress, misery, basically misery. Whereas the tamoguna, the mode of ignorance, results in it is ajnanam. So it is no knowledge, lack of knowledge. Ajnanam tamasaga palam. Ignorance results in foolishness. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, we have successfully finished this sloka number 16 in the 14th chapter, Hare Krishna. We will now chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Focus our mind on Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. We know that our mind is not going to be in one place. It's going to go here and there. It's not going to stay in one place. But our goal is to focus on Krishna so that we can fix our mind in one place on Krishna. So we need to fix our mind on that transcendental sound vibration. So when we chant Hare Krishna, so Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, our mind should stay on that sound vibration, Krishna, Rama. Namo